the bashers,
Yeah.
they're not gonna go into Freemasonry because they
Right.
don't have that kind of
Right. The comprehension.
character
Yeah.
comprehension that
Because
embodies Freemasonry.
yeah, because part of the depth of Freemasonry that you were talking about really is that it's a mystery school that you and you alone are walking through on your own journey, but you're surrounded by guys who have kind of been through that school. And the secrets of Freemasonry is that you have to really let your old self go and learn how to be a new person. And a new person is basically just off the philosophies of timeless, how to be a good person.
Yeah.
And you can find those steps in every
Yeah.
holy book written in every
Right.
religion.
Right.
So
right.
I always say, like, is Masonry really a secret?
It's fun. It's fun because
Yeah.
But the interaction that you get from the other brothers,
For sure, yeah,
being
yeah.
a member is
Yeah.
different.
Right.
because we're
Right.
we're
Yeah.
all obligated underneath the same conditions and the same positions, and so like those are the things that we hold valuable and special, and those are the secret. I don't want to say secret, but those are the secret things that we all do because like we've all been through that same scenario together, right?
right. But,
Like,
to be honest, I don't think there is anything secretive about Freemasonry. The only secrets that we have is probably our degree because
right?
it's like learning how to do karate kata.
Yes.
correct.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
you're not gonna learn that just because, you
Yeah.
know.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to our another session of our podcast. I believe this is going to be our sixth one. My name is Brother Pete Marcelana, and with me, as always, is Brother Gabriel Mariscal.
Good evening. Today we have the honor of introducing an absolute legend, in my opinion. He's someone that we've all tried to emulate within the realms of the fraternity of Masonry. He's someone that we love, admire, and respect for his dedication to the craft. So it's our distinct pleasure tonight to introduce to the world Worshipful Eric Coscolluela.
Wow.
Welcome, Worshipful.
Thank you for your kind word, Worshipful Gabe.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, but I mean, thank you for having me, Brother Pete. Worshipful Gabe, first of all, hey, I want to congratulate you on your coming installation. I was an appointee for the position of the Senior Stewards, Grand Lodge Senior Steward.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Worshipful.
Wow.
I appreciate that. I
That
appreciate
is,
it.
Way up the hill, my brother.
Representing GDML.
Definitely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
wait. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I bid you good luck for that. And,
Thank you.
Represent as well, my brother.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure that you're one of the cream of the crop of the GDML family, and
Thank you.
and we're just so proud of what you have become.
I appreciate that.
with regards to Masonry in general.
And
Yeah.
it's so ironic. And I was telling my wife earlier this afternoon that as much as I recognize some of those positions that I've been asked to serve in, my admiration still comes in from seeing guys like you, seeing guys like Robert Woondock, guys like Nolan Paraiso, and like all those past masters who when I came into California Masonry, was like, that is the epitome of a Mason. So please know that no matter what position that I ever hold, I'm like, oh my God, I got to be like those guys. I got to be like Eric Coscolluela. So
I like that, but I can never be as good as Worshipful Gabe.
well, cheers to that.
You are correct, though. Knowing the past masters of GDML's reputation when
Mhm.
it comes to Masonry in general, they really put in their heart and
Right.
mind into it, and especially their time too,
Right.
just to make the fraternity as big as it is now.
Yep.
Well, Masonry in general is already, a worldwide fraternity, and we're just a speck of it. But being a speck, that means that you have to put your part also in some ways that will make Masonry more grandeur in the eyes of the people that knows you, something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And how you been, Brother Pete?
Again,
And
doing well.
I like the way you presented this podcast.
This
Yeah.
is yeah. This
Yeah,
is
hopefully
awesome. We get to
a,
express our
a million views for you this coming months or years.
It's a game plan.
Eventually,
That's a game
eventually.
plan, right? Okay. Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. I really wanted to know. Part of my recommendation to Brother Pete, as far as interviewing tonight or just having a conversation, was my curiosity to what your background was. I know that you're involved in a college fraternity, and I'm curious to know how that has played into your growth as a Mason, your growth as a man. So how those kind of two kind of connected. So, but I'd love to hear more about where you started off, like where you grew up, in some of your education, how you made it to where you are.
Right, right. Okay, so basically, you know that I'm from the Philippines, and I grew up in this place, what we call the little California of the Philippines, something like
Nice.
that, which is the Baguio City, little California, because it has the weather of California, it has the feel and the vibe of California, something like that, and for the most part, because it was under, I would say there's a huge American base back there. So it was mostly an American expat area where
Ah,
they do recreation in the Philippines. So they made it as like a little California
sure.
of the Philippines. So I went to this school, Pine City Colleges. I took up nursing, which is what I'm practicing now, uh, BSN graduate. And from there, I learned this college fraternity, which is the Alpha Phi Omega. I was introduced by Brother Oliver Wanya, who is our brother also in Masonry. Um, he told me that I got potential to be, a leader.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know what he means by it, but
Yeah.
I kind of believe him. I didn't know that it's a different world.
Sure.
You know, when you're young, you're aggressive, you're tough, and you want to try it. And
So, Brother Oliver was in Baguio as well when you guys met. Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes, we actually went to the same college. Um, in
Was he a Mason then at the time?
No, he's
The same
my
fraternity.
senior in
Yeah.
Alpha Phi Omega
Gotcha. Yeah.
fraternity. Yeah, he became a Mason here when he moved here in Sacramento. But yeah, well, the history about it is basically um, when you're young, you want to have a sense of belong.
Sure.
So you want to belong to somebody who you believe is bigger than you,
Mhm.
right? And so I was persuaded by Brother Oliver to join the fraternity. And I look at these numbers in the fraternity, the Alpha Phi Omega fraternity, and I was convinced that, I'm going to be a tough person too if I join this fraternity. And that is the main reason why I joined the fraternity. But when I become a member, that I realized that there is more to the fraternity than just being a tough guy, and being a member of that fraternity. So I learned that fraternity, I mean, the Alpha Phi fraternity teaches you how to be a good leader, a man of service,
Mm.
and a man of friendship. So it molds us how to be a leader of the future. And it teaches us how to give back to our community by means of service. and at the same time, it teaches us how to be human as a friend.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that is the main cardinal principles of the Alpha Phi Omega. Alpha leadership, Phi friendship, Omega service,
Wow.
something like that. Yeah, and and if you will notice, there's a lot of members at GDML who belong to the fraternity, and we can notice that until now at their age, they still feel like they belong to that college fraternity. That's how the fraternity kept its status
Mm.
as a college fraternity,
Wow.
something like that. Yeah.
So, did you find in within the community of where you grew up that most of the most influential people had come from that fraternity?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, well, basically, there are lots of fraternities too in the Philippines, and I would say they have a lot of successful members also. It just so happened that um, the brothers that belong to my fraternity, college fraternity, are the people that I know,
Mm.
and some of them are really influential people. Um, most of them are in the military, in the police academy, or in our police system or justice system, something like that.
In the government.
The government,
Mhm.
yeah. And we have past presidents too.
Right.
Yeah, and this fraternity, the Alpha Phi Omega fraternity, just to give you a little bit of a background, is it is an international collegiate fraternity,
Hmm.
which is uh, which originated not in the Philippines but in Eastern Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So
Interesting.
in Lafayette University
Oh
in
wow.
Eastern Pennsylvania. That's the Eagle Scout from Eastern Pennsylvania went to the Philippines to spread the principle of scouting, and he was able to um, meet this Eagle Scout in the Philippines, Librado Reta, who is the original founder of Alpha Phi Omega Philippines, and they were able to establish the first chapter in the Philippines, which is the Far Eastern University, and we call it the Alpha chapter,
Nice.
something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
and that's, I can't think of anything else more relevant or important as to setting the foundations to a young man than a fraternity that builds him through some of the most influential years of a young man's life, and then to provide that foundation for what a man should be and strive to be is just, it's beautiful. So I'm curious to hear as we continue with our conversation tonight, how that led you to Masonry and the seamless transition and what I'm anticipating to hear it was from you. So
That's beautiful. Being part of Alpha Phi Omega fraternity, just to elaborate it more, um, we been hearing this higher umbrella fraternity, which is Freemasonry. And if you will notice, there's a lot of Alpha Phi Omega members that went into Masonry for the reason that we believe in the principle of Freemasonry, and at the same time, the main founder of the Alpha Phi Omega, which is Frank Reed Horton, is a member of Freemasonry.
oh wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he became a Freemasonry first, and with that influence, he put up the Alpha Phi Omega fraternity.
Wow.
Wow.
And that is the reason why, in some instances, there are lots of similarities when it comes to the rituals and all with
Wow.
Alpha
Was
Pi Omega.
that part of the history
yeah,
of the fraternity, or was
right,
it something you figured out that the founder was a member?
right.
Did-
Yes. Back in the days, we already know that
oh,
he is
okay.
a
Oh,
member of
wow.
the
Yeah,
Wow.
of Freemasonry,
Wow.
because you're gonna learn that when you are entering
Interesting.
the fraternity, and then once you become a member of the fraternity, and then you'll learn more about the founder and all, and then you'll realize that there's bigger association that he belongs to,
Wow.
which is Freemasonry.
And it's so beautiful to kind of hear and to kind of put the two and two together. How it almost goes to show how timeless our philosophies are in Freemasonry and just being a good person. And we were having a conversation earlier on religion and the similarities of religion. And you could kind of expand that or broaden it over into the realm of fraternity. But it's so fascinating how open-minded we are as Masons, how open-minded we are, but the values that we hold as humans, as a human species, but just to the I don't know how else to say other than just to be the good person, right? Like it's so cool to see it starting from a younger age in those college fraternities, and then growing into Masonry and seeing it play out.
Right.
That's cool.
Right. Yeah, thank you. But that's basically how humans should be.
Right?
I mean,
Strive for your
Yeah.
best version of yourself.
right,
Yeah.
right. Something
Gosh.
like that. Yeah.
That's why I'm such a proponent of Freemasonry, is because it's like we're in a time in society where conversations like this aren't common, and men have a pretty in less beautiful words to say, but we have a crappy way of building relationships and finding other like-minded men, and so Masonry kind of gives us that platform to build on this, and so that's why I'm such a proponent of being out there and be like, hey, Masonry is not what you see on YouTube, right? This is Masonry. It's us talking, over to the side there about charitable programs that we're all working on.
Right.
It's never about the individual, but it's always about what we're working on as a collective to build whatever it is that we're working on. And so if I can stress one thing to the person that has never heard about Masonry or has heard that we do X, Y, and Z, this is Masonry. It's cool, great men working together.
That's why I appreciate what the Grand Lodge is doing right now. Promulgating positive more about Freemasonry to the people who doesn't know what Freemasonry is about.
For sure.
We don't have to indulge everything. We just have to impart all the good things that
Yeah.
Freemasonry does. And
Right.
we're not the kind of things that what the internet is telling us
and
that we are. But
for sure.
you
And
know.
and at some point, like we were talking earlier, like we have to be that selective group, right? To find the right people, because our message is very simple.
Correct.
It's how do you make your surroundings better?
Mm.
And we can't do that unless we find the right people who are open to loving each other, who are understanding each other, who are open to communication, who are open to seeing things from different perspectives, to come together and then do a bigger thing. Not everybody's like that. And so Masonry, in my opinion, has a unique way of kind of tapping the person on the shoulder when it's your time. And for many, and for some of you who are watching this video, this might be your time to say, like, oh my goodness, I've never heard or thought of Masonry or seen it in this perspective. This is it. So that's what Masonry is.
It's a good finishing school, don't you
Right?
think so?
Oh, I love that. Yes, I love that.
It's like a
Builds
lifetime
you,
of
a good personality
yeah.
or character.
I've even
Something
heard
like
it considered a real life or a on-the-job training version of an MBA program,
There you go.
right?
There you go. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. All right. And Worshipful, you've built an impressive career as a case manager in the medical field. how do you find that your professional life aligns with, just like we were talking about, the values um, you uphold as a Freemason, and what lessons from the lodge do you apply in your profession?
Oh, okay. So, I, as a case manager, and probably for the most of our viewers doesn't know what the case manager is. Case manager is the one that, manages. This I'm talking about the healthcare side of case managerial. You uh, manage a specific patient and their family, um, being an advocate, being a health caregiver, something like that. At the same time, you direct the traffic on where the patient will go if he needs this and that, something like that.
Mm.
So basically, um, to be able to do that, especially with my kind of work, you have to have patience. You have to have a big heart. You have to have so much love. Love not just for what you put in your pocket,
Sure.
but love because you genuinely love people.
You care,
You
yeah.
care
Mhm.
for that family, you care for that patient, something like that. And this is what masonry is teaching. What I'm learning about, from Freemasonry, it teaches me about what we call brotherly love. And and if you can, basically share the love to the people, which is not um, basically uh, your next of kin, a total stranger to you,
Mm.
you can easily spread the love towards other people too,
Yeah.
and your patient, their family will feel that. They will know if you're uh, genuinely caring to them or to their loved one.
Mm.
And in masonry, we as brothers, we know if our brother genuinely care about us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So that is the same thing with what I put in with my work. It's because of what I've learned with masonry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just processing that because so many tenets that we talk about, uh, temperance, patience, fortitude.
Right.
Oh my
Right.
goodness, I can totally see how that plays within your professional career, and the caliber of person you have to be in order for it to do it effectively, right, and to do it successfully. And in addition to that, it's really having that open heart and open mind. That one of my personal takeaways of masonry is that, and so it's great to hear that from your perspective and not a medical, uh, term.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of I think it's more of genuinely love to people.
Yeah.
I joined fraternity since college years, and until now, I joined Freemasonry. Um, it's because I'm a people oriented person.
Mhm.
I love to be with other people. I love to show them who I am, how I care about them, and all,
Mhm.
something like that. And if we can do that, I mean, our brothers, these people um, are intelligent people.
Right. Right.
They
Yeah.
they
Oh
know
my goodness.
if you care about them, or
Yes.
you're
Right.
just trying to be somebody who is expecting something out of it. You get what I mean? But yeah, yeah,
I think
they
that
know.
goes
They know
back
that.
to
Yeah.
Brother Gabe's mentioning about the quality of the members we have and the type of people we're attracting, and I don't know if it's by design, but
Yeah.
it's timeless. And then, you know, like you,
Right.
brother, you know, we're
Yeah.
attracted to it.
Yeah.
You know, we probably didn't have the same background why we joined the fraternity, but somehow it resonates for
Yes.
us. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So there's a saying that you tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are, right?
Yeah, right.
And so we attract the same people that we are,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So
I agree.
for the most part, I know that there's some quality of you that is the same quality as me because,
Right.
you know, you joined the fraternity,
Yeah.
you saw me,
Right.
and being in this fraternity, you know, and to be able to call you as my brother, this is by choice.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not by fate,
Yeah.
or I mean by
By chance or anything.
by
like
chance
that.
or
Yeah.
anything, right?
Yeah.
You chooses for you to be my brother
Right.
because you saw something that is similar
Yes.
characteristic of you
Yeah.
that you kind of
Yes,
does that
yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
something
well,
like that. Yeah,
yeah.
so you're probably not
Yeah.
going to join this fraternity if you don't see yourself with them, right?
That's a good
You're like,
point.
oh my gosh.
That's a
Oh
good
my
point.
gosh. Like, oh,
Yeah. And that's
sorry, but you know, you're not on my level. like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome to go. I mean, we don't need you here. Something like that. But
Yeah.
you know that, you know, there's a part of you that says, oh my gosh, these guys are the people
I want
that
to be
I
a part of it.
should
Yeah.
imitate.
Yeah.
That I want to be a part of them, to belong to this, you know, one big family.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I also want to kind of to stress or to point out that there within every lodge there's a different culture, right? And within every city, within every town,
Correct.
there's a different demographic, there's a
Mhm.
different culture. So our caliber of masonry, it being in my humble opinion pretty high, you know, with being around men who are constantly striving to become better and to get together to, of course, enjoying the fellowship. But when I get together, I'm like, okay, am I on the right track? How do I become more and more like these guys, right? And so everybody's doing that in these rooms. And so it's so beautiful
Right.
to see a positive spin on, going back to Alpha, as far as a positive spin on how do high caliber guys grow amongst high caliber guys. And it's being able to say like, like, oh my goodness, I recognize your talents. I recognize my defaults. How do I implement your, right?
That is so true. Here's the thing though, openness. For you to grow, you have to have a teacher.
Mhm.
And for you to accept, to have a teacher, is for you to open yourself up to that person,
Right.
for him to teach you,
Yeah.
right? And for you to learn.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the lodge,
Mhm.
you know, especially GDML. GDML is, I would say, all the lodges are good and great, but you know, I want to speak particularly with
Sure.
my lodge, our lodge, the Blue Lodge, GDML, and I know that the brothers here can impart something bigger to you if you only open up yourself to them.
Right.
I want to set you an example, Worshipful Gabe. When you came to GDML, you just didn't come as a past master. Hey,
Yeah.
welcome me here.
Yeah.
I'm a past master.
No way. That was not going to work. That's not going to work at GDML.
There you go. You
Oh,
know
I knew
that.
that. And I respected that. Like,
Right. But here's the thing, though. Because you're an intelligent person and you understand that GDML is not trying to be snob or trying to belittle other brothers and all, but we want you to feel that we have our own culture here, and if you can accept that,
Mhm.
then you are welcome.
right.
then you are welcome. And Brother Eric, you embraces the culture of GDML. You brought your family, you know, and and you are having so much fun now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
just
love it.
because you let yourself open with the changes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
With whatever we can impart to you,
Right.
and not just came in, impose yourself.
Yeah.
This is my rule. This is me. This is me. You learn like me, fine.
Yeah.
Forget about you guys.
Yeah. And that's why. Yeah, and that's why for some who are watching these videos and saying like, I wonder, my biggest well. So I guess I'll break that down into two things. So for those who are watching who are not Masons, it's to go into every lodge and interview them as much as they would interview you, right? Like get to see, like, what do you have to offer that lodge, right? And in return, obviously, what does that lodge have to offer you? In the sense that, how are you going to build your moral character? Because and so coming from, if you're a Mason watching this and you're like, I'm not sure if my lodge is the right lodge for me. First, my advice is going to be that your fidelity should lie to Masonry itself and not to a particular lodge number if it's not working out for you. And by this time, as a Master Mason, the first thing you should have probably grown from or matured from is that the loss of the ego, right? So me coming in as a past master means zero, right? Because I'm coming in as a brother to a family. I'm knocking on the door to say like, hey, I'm kind of homeless. Just seeing if I just want to feel to test the water out. Is this going to work? Am I going to fit into your culture? I'm more than accepting. I understand the caliber of this lodge. That's how you have to look at things. And that's kind of how I go in at life. But always having an understanding that you are going to be able, that your main mission is to contribute more than you ever expect to receive.
That's beautiful. And that's
Right.
what we want to see with one brother.
Yeah.
You know, not exerting themselves as this and that,
Yeah.
but as a person, as a human being, you know. Even just a plain individual, not a brother or a teacher or a president.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a simple human being.
Yeah. Are you a good dude? Are you somebody who I could trust to watch my kids on a Friday night?
There you go. That's true.
It's not that. Yeah. It's just,
Yeah. I mean,
just Masonry, man. It's yeah.
yeah. I mean, and these are the values that Masonry imparts to each of the members, you know, and these values, it radiates, it resonates to our kids, to our family, to our extended family, and so forth. And from then on, hopefully in the future, you know, they'll see Masonry differently rather than what they're seeing right now in the
Right.
internet alone.
Right. So, so kind of skipping around a little bit and going back to the kids. So I feel like we've kind of understood where you came from, you know, through your college term, through your fraternity, and how that's bled into your life as a man, and finding Masonry. Masonry, in my opinion, just hearing your story, not having heard it before, like it sounds very sweet to me that like Masonry has always had you in her sights.
Yes. Yes, that is so true.
Yeah.
We we call ourselves as a double brother, you know, a member of Alpha Phi Omega and a member of the fraternity, the Freemasonry. And we have, quote unquote, what you call this? I forgot the term, but we have this passage or something. Yeah, we are a person that was um, trained to lead, which is the Alpha Phi Omega way, and raised to serve, which is the Freemasonry way.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Slogan. There you go.
Yeah,
That's our slogan.
got you.
Yeah, that's our slogan.
Nice.
Yeah, train to lead, raise to serve.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine, wow! Imagine if
Right.
all of our young youth, and
Yeah.
in this country and throughout the world, live by those philosophies. How better off we would be in
That's
society.
true. There's a lot of Greek fraternities
Goodness.
right now under Freemasonry.
Sure.
Back in the days, in the Philippines, especially in the Philippines, college fraternity, Greek fraternity, in particular, um, they compete.
Hmm.
At first, it was more intellectual. We compete in the
Academically.
academic,
Yeah.
Mm.
academically, and in the debate class, and something like that, right?
Sure.
And then it went out on the street. It becomes a little bit bigger than
Yeah.
that. You get what I mean? However, if you will notice, there are lots of Greek fraternity in Masonry now, and not just the Alpha Phi Omega. There's a lot. There's a lot. And one good thing about it is we look at Freemasonry as one big umbrella where we can work as one. That there is a bigger family more than the family that we had back then when we were young. Although we cannot eliminate what we had back then, but those are the fun years. Those are the wonder years
Yeah.
when we were in college. And in my heart, I'm still Apo by heart, what we call it. But at the same time, I have my mother, which is Freemasonry,
Yeah. Wow.
which has a lot of children everywhere that you can call brothers too,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So my father
It's your
Greek
fraternity.
fraternity, and my mother Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's how I can compare my college and
oh, that's beautiful.
my yeah.
It is.
It's your legacy.
Yeah.
And so let me kind of jump around to two things. So, because you're also a Shriner, and so with your medical profession, have you ever thought about working at? So let me kind of double back. There's 26 Shriners hospitals throughout North America. One of them being here in Sacramento, and I know you in the medical field. Have you ever thought about knocking on the door and
Right, you reminded me about that. I still have to work on my dues for the Shriners.
Oh,
I haven't worked it out yet. Or this
Me
year,
too.
but worshipful Ed, I'm gonna take care of that.
We got you.
I got you. Yeah, but going back to your question, if I can go back in time, I'll probably gonna go work with one of the Shriners hospital here. I never thought of that back then.
Yeah.
When I become a nurse here in America, I started from working in a skilled facility, which is a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
I never had an experience of working in a hospital. I tried to get into Kaiser Hospital back then as an emergency nurse, which they hired me right away. However, when they learned that I don't have an acute experience in the United States setting,
Mm.
the clinical managers turned me down. They asked me to, excuse me, they asked me to get, acute experience in the United States first before, they can hire me back. Unfortunately, I have to go out of California to get that. For some reasons, California acute setting or hospital setting, they don't hire newly grad back then.
Ah.
So you have to go out to East Coast or Nevada or something like that. And I don't want to leave my family just to get that experience. So I have to stay here working in a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned about home health, hospice. And that's where my career path went. And Shriners Hospital basically is an acute setting.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to get there, you have to have
The experience.
the experience.
Got you.
Yeah, even if you're a Shriner,
Ah,
even if you're a Mason,
yeah.
they're not. It's not an automatic thing for you to
Sure.
be hired by them.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna deal with people, and these people have to be taken care of by professionals, experts with when it comes to that field.
Got
And
it.
I don't think I'm qualified for that.
Ah, certainly it makes
With regards
sense
to
for
that.
sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
but if I can go back in time, I'll probably work it out and
Ah,
work
nice.
with, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my kids had the benefit of um, availing the services of Shriners Hospital.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know that. What?
yeah. My eldest, he went to Shriners Hospital. My second, he had his surgery at Shriners Hospital. Something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't.
Yeah, I
know that.
remember some of the doctors then when they saw my ring, they recognized right away. And they were
Oh.
like, "Oh, you're a Mason. Thank you for hiring me." And that's a doctor. Telling me that.
awesome.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
That is awesome. That's why we have to
Well, I
pay
was
our
like,
dues.
"Oh no, I'm not the owner of the Shriners Hospital. Don't tell me that." And it was like, "Oh, still, you guys are the one who's taking care of
Oh.
us and all." It's like, "Oh no, I don't think so."
Wow,
I'm just paying my dues. But yeah, you reminded me about I have to pay my dues now.
that's awesome. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. But that Shriners Hospital basically embodies what Masonry is all about. And I remember some of the celebrities, well-known personalities, they want to be, part of this hospital
Mm-hmm.
or the Shriners itself, uh, even if they're not members of Freemasonry.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But they want to be identified as
Sure.
one of, what do you call that? Donors or
Right. As a
something like that.
a donor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, in that part of me, I find it our responsibility as Masons to let those people know, like, you're contributing to a branch of
Lodge.
our fraternity. The Shriners is a very beautiful organization, very powerful, very influential. When it comes to we're going to take care of a kid's family, we're going to take care of a surgery or whatever the case is, at no charge to the family. That's the kind of flex and pull that the Shriners hospitals have, right? So like when all these people are contributing and I want to the Shriners golf tournament and this and that, like
Right.
that's a Mason organization, and we need to be there as Masons to say, to educate these people on who we are, because I don't think half of them know, and half of those guys who are contributing, whether that's in public or whether it's by behind closed doors donations, like would probably get along with Masons.
Yeah.
And we're pretty cool guys. I mean,
Yeah, they have a lot of charities, charity works that have done in the past. I don't know. I think Orful had discussed about this one. The charity he had back then when he was uh, the main lead of the Islander Club under Shriners, Ben Ali Shriners.
what was his initiative?
So he was able to send a burn patient from the Philippines here.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know? Wow.
Like, brother.
Ed
Orful
Caballero?
Ed Caballero, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the president of the Islander Club then, and he was able to bring a burn patient
Wow.
here in Shriner, Sacramento, and was able to, and until now, I mean, the kid is functioning normally now because of that.
Gosh, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And
Yeah,
for those
yeah.
who don't remember who Ed Caballero is, he's probably a couple interviews past. So
Right.
you can find him on here. So,
Mm.
wow, that is amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how great Shriner is.
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, so and even some part of the world, the East Coast, they have their own, charities that they're doing. In the Philippines too, I heard a lot of charity works that they've been doing under Shriners.
That's amazing.
Emblem.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's all fall on the higher umbrella, which is the Freemasonry,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a Shriner.
You can be a Shriner if you're not.
unless you're a Freemason.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
Yeah. Is it my turn or?
Oh yeah,
was it
yeah, for sure.
You get the occupation part right.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you know what? Yeah, I was gonna kind of get into as far as the
Oh, you did.
DMLAs, but
Yeah. I'll ask my question.
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Urshful, Eric, what are some of the myths and urban legends you've heard about the fraternity?
This is the fun part.
Yep. And what about the secrecy of our fraternity do you think is misunderstood? I think we kind of
Yeah.
talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
It is fun topic.
I know this is a fun topic. Well, it's like what I said a while ago. It's the fear of the unknown. When
Yes.
people don't know, they
Fill in the
do
blanks.
assumptions.
Right,
They do
yeah.
assumptions. Conspiracy theories. They're probably doing this. They're probably doing that, right? So some of it that that I heard about, is that we're antichrist, we're
Yeah.
devil worshiper.
Yep.
That
Oh, part
we
of
we
part of
spit
the
comical.
we
Illuminati.
spit on the
Yeah.
cross. We're part of Illuminati. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, so I can't even comprehend it. I'm like, it's giving me a goosebump. I'm like, am I that person? And even my kids, they're gonna look at me and ask me about that. You know what? They were saying this, and that. And I'm like, why don't you ask yourself, how many times a month do we go to the church? How many times? If you don't go to church, your mom's gonna spank you. You better go. Get ready, and we gotta go to church. I'm like, do I stop them? Do I stop you guys? No, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
right there. I mean, like, kneeling beside you, right?
Yes.
So, back in the days, it works for our benefit. People get scared of us.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, she's from Mason. Like,
You can cast a
like-
spell.
right, cast a spell or something. So it works as a double standard for us. We hate it at the same time we love it, because for the reason that, we get a different type of respect from them, and they're trying to stay away from us. They don't want to get trouble or get in trouble with us, something like that, just because they know that, we probably possess something or we're a different entity, something like that. But nowadays, sometimes it goes the other direction. It works more to our disadvantage nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't see the goodness or the good side of being a Freemason. They only see you as somebody that
The negative extreme.
yeah, they have to stay away.
So unfortunate.
It's
Yes, yeah.
unfortunate. And for all of you who are viewing us right now, Masonry is not what you see or hear in the internet. I cannot say more about it, because you're not gonna believe me anyway. Not unless you're gonna be in the inside Freemason, that you're gonna know what's really is Freemasonry all about. But just to give you an example, what Freemasonry in general, it's more of an organization, but it embodies a certain brotherhood. That's why they call it fraternity. But it is just a common community organization, like a Rotary or a Lions Club, just in a different perspective. A little bit deeper meaning
Right.
when it comes to being bonded
Right.
as a brother.
Yeah.
not just as a kumpare or kumare. We call that like in the village, kumpare, kumare.
Oh, nice.
Like we call ourselves brothers.
Right.
Like that.
And
Yeah.
part of being a member as well is the contributions you put into the organization as a whole,
Right.
as a volunteer. So
Yeah.
right there,
Right.
if you're expecting something in
right.
return,
Yeah.
it's not
Right.
for that. Those
No,
type of,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
When you go into masonry, you don't expect to get silver and gold. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why don't join masonry if you wanna get silver and gold, because you're gonna become a member and you'll find silver and gold in Freemasonry. No, it's
Yeah.
not like that. You'll give silver and gold in
Right.
Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is charity,
Yeah.
basically. So it is more of giving rather than taking.
Right.
That's
You
it,
know,
yeah.
you get your past with other brothers. You know, the love, the care. And
Yeah, I
that
think
is
going back to that character,
yeah.
that it's resonating between all of us that are currently a member and went through the the initiation. That
right.
as far as like maybe the negative things that we hear in the public, it's probably doing us good, because those are the types of people we don't want, are the ones who doesn't think.
Right.
They just accept
True.
what
Right.
they
That is
hear,
so
right?
true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
if you're an
yeah.
open-minded person, critical
Mhm.
thinker, then you will
Right.
find out.
Yeah.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the bashers,
Yeah.
they're not gonna go into Freemasonry because they
Right.
don't
Yeah.
have that kind of
Right. The comprehension.
character comprehension that
Because
embodies Freemasonry.
yeah, because part of the depth of Freemasonry that you were talking about really is that it's a mystery school that you and you alone are walking through on your own journey, but you're surrounded by guys who have kind of been through that school. And the secrets of Freemasonry is that you have to really let your old self go and learn how to be a new person. And a new person is basically just off the philosophies of timeless, how to be a good person. And you
Yeah.
can find those steps in every
Yeah.
holy book written in every
Right,
religion.
right,
so
right.
I always say, like, is Masonry really a secret?
It's fun. It's fun because
Yeah.
But the interaction that you get from the other brothers,
For sure,
being
yeah.
a member is
Yeah.
different.
Right.
because we're
Right.
all
Yeah.
obligated underneath the same conditions and the same positions, and so like those are the things that we hold valuable and special, and those are the secret. I don't want to say secret, but those are the secret things that we all do, because like we've all been through that same scenario together, right?
right. But,
Like,
but to be honest, I don't think there is anything secretive about Freemasonry. The only secrets that we have is probably our degree, because
right?
it's like learning how to do karate kata.
Yeah. Yes.
correct.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
you're not gonna learn that just because.
Yeah.
You have to be a member of
Yeah.
that club. They'll teach you the kata,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Something like that. Yeah, that's the only secret. So
I love that.
yeah, no,
And then the
yeah.
interaction is the sparring part of kata.
There you go. There
right?
you
Yes.
go. Yeah,
You can
something
learn
like that. Yeah,
to ride
yeah.
a bike on a book.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Love
riding
that.
a bike
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
yourself and
Mm.
experiencing it with a partner and a brother, that's what makes it
Ah.
real, right?
That's
Mm,
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, like what I've said, it works to our advantage at the same time to our disadvantage.
Just
also.
balance,
Just,
sure.
It's balance.
And one of the main reasons we want to do the podcast is to just kind of show who we are
Yeah.
and express ourselves as we are,
yeah.
as truthfully as we are in what we
yeah,
do. And
yeah,
we're
yeah.
regular people.
And that is the
We just-
reason why
yeah.
we have a quote that, convince the world that upon becoming a Mason, you become a better man. Right?
It
So
is,
let the people decide
Right.
if you're really what
Yep.
they're hearing about or
Yeah.
what they're seeing about.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah.
Yeah. Let us all be an example of what a Mason
Yeah,
is.
yeah, that's for sure.
And it
Yeah.
takes work for those Masons who have made it, who are going through the lines and kind of challenging themselves to take on these different roles within a Masonic lodge that we referenced earlier, as far as the real-time MBA program. Those type of people are the ones that grow, are the ones that really emulate that, masonry, and so
Yeah, for sure.
but you got to work at it.
Well,
You gotta
here's the
spar,
here's the
right?
thing though. Here's the thing though. In reality, even if we're not going to talk about Freemasonry, but in reality, it, the thing though that I would say the people that you go with is the kind of person that you're going to become.
Yeah.
If those people are, the gamblers, the tambay, we call them tambay, then you're going to be homeless too,
Yeah. Right.
But if you go with people who are intellectually,
Mm-hmm.
and successful in life,
Mm-hmm.
your your frame of mind
You're
will
setting
be,
yourself up for success.
yeah,
basically.
yeah, something like that.
Exactly.
It's the same.
You are your group of friends. You mentioned that earlier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
your
yeah.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Circle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So, let's see. And we've already talked about kind of the young youth out there, and I know that our sons are kind of going through that age. So, actually, to digress, because I'm sure we're both doing that as far as like setting the example at home, like how to be how to be a man, what some of the values and foundations are, and then having them inside of Order DMLA, which is a group that supports and kind of gives more of that foundation to our young men. What advice are you kind of giving your sons now, and on how to navigate the world as it is?
New generation nowadays, they have their own.
Yeah.
It's
My goodness.
so different.
Yeah.
Back in the days when my mom says this and that, you better make sure that you
Right.
or you're gonna be standing in one corner facing the wall,
Yeah.
something like that. But nowadays, you have to talk to your children differently.
Right.
You have to be careful of the words that you're gonna tell them. And I'm not much of a person who always talk to them this and that, but more as an example. I set an example
Yeah.
for them to see.
That's how.
you
Yeah.
know. If they see me as a hardworking person, I don't need to tell them that.
Right.
Work this, work. I don't have to tell them that.
Yeah.
They'll see and they will emulate it.
Nice.
You get what I mean? However, they have to have good backgrounds themselves too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there is the demo.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you cannot taught as a father to your kids.
Sure.
They have to learn it themselves. To their peers.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make mistakes too
Sure.
in order to learn.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they can only experience it if you let them go by themselves. So sometimes we just be on the side as a watcher, observer,
Mm-hmm.
and when they make a mistake, we let them make a mistake and then we correct it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the kind of father I am.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because that's kind of been my approach, and I asked that for a very, again, I don't want to say selfish reason, but it's an opportunity for me to learn to
Mhm.
somebody who I admire, like, because I have my stepson, he's DMLA, your sons are DMLA,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. So I being a father of all girls, and Colin being the first boy that I've had any responsibility over, I'm like, man, like I got to see what the other dads are doing with boys. So thank you for sharing that, because that's kind of what I'm doing. Like, how else can you do it, right? So
No,
all you could do is lead by example.
Yeah, and the kind of man you are, worshipful. I don't have to say a word.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I wish that most of the Demolays would see you as you are. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. 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 All right Is it my turn to ask?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Awesome. All right. It's a simple one. It's a very famous slogan for the fraternity, Freemasonry. We call them the brotherly love, relief, and truth. And the question for University Eric is, what's your version of that definition and what it means to you? How you probably even experienced it or applied it in general?
Oh my gosh. Here comes the college fraternity and how it works. When you were young and you joined this college fraternity, the Greek fraternity, that is where you have implanted the idea of what brotherhood is, until the end, right? Like, I got your back, bro,
Yeah.
right? And when I got into Freemasonry, I still have that in me. The idea of you as my brother, I'm gonna be your brother till the end,
Yeah.
for whatever, you know. Murder and treason accepted, like we
Accepted.
were talking about, right?
Yeah.
But hey, I'll back you up. I'm here. I'm your family. I'm your brother. That is the idea of brotherly love to me. You know,
Nice.
I'm not gonna put bad words about you.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna put all the good words about you.
Yeah.
You know, you make a mistake, I'm not gonna judge you. I'll hug you. You know,
Awesome.
and
I
then
like
I'll
that.
correct you.
I love that.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
it's just how it is. That's
Yeah.
how brothers are. You
Yeah.
know, and that's how deep brotherly love to me. Yeah, I was taught
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
of how important brotherly love is since I was in college. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I grew up in a place in the Philippines we call Tondo, and it's like a ghetto place in the Philippines where
Is it one of the highest crime rate?
Right,
Or
right,
one
right.
of it, or the number one?
back in the days,
Back in the days,
yeah.
it's probably different now.
Not anymore. It's
Yeah.
different now.
Yeah.
But back in the days, during my time, it's the survival of the fittest. You know, you have to be strong and tough to be able to survive in that area. You know what I mean? And that is what made me believe in this spirit of brotherhood, because I don't have a fraternity then, but my I should say my fellow kids that lives in the same street, we have a bond
Mhm.
that nobody can touch us once we're together. It's just like that. So that's for me, at a young age, I was brought up with the concept of what brotherly love
Yeah,
is.
you got their back. And
Yeah,
they got,
yeah,
they got
yeah,
yours.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and now that being a professional, you use it in a different way,
Sure.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's not having brawl on the street anymore, having a fight on the street
Right.
anymore.
It's not physical anymore.
It's not
Yeah.
physical anymore.
It's now leveraging friendships and
there
partnerships.
you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, they got your back and you got their
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's still brotherly love
Right.
without putting them in danger or.
And we're
putting
all
them in a
we're all
bad
people. Even
spirit.
if
Yeah.
we are Masons, but we're still people, right? We have
We have our flaws.
we have our
yeah.
flaws, and
Yeah.
yeah.
But we keep it in a minimal way.
Yep.
As much as possible, we don't pull anybody, with us when we're on that side of the equation. But for the most part, we try to push them, lift them higher,
Right. Right.
so they can achieve whatever they want to achieve in life. And
Yeah.
that's
So-
how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, because nobody else is going to do it, right? So we
Right,
have to do it
right,
ourselves
right.
amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Like we know who the talented people are, and when they're looking to get to their next thing, if you have the opportunity to help them, then it is your responsibility as a brother to help that person. And so I view masonry in a different way. So I was a service member. I'm a veteran, and then I was raised in Washington, right outside of Washington D.C. And so my interpretation was like, okay, as a former soldier, it was like, if we've been to war together, like you can if you need socks, if you need a T-shirt, if you need anything, you can rest assured.
Right.
And so when I got to DC and then seeing how that transcended in a political term, where there was guys in there from Capitol Hill, there was guys from the Pentagon, and I was like, oh my goodness, and seeing that beautiful network of masonry, just it didn't inspire me to say, oh, this is an organization to network, but this is an organization for me to learn and grow, right? To contribute to something that's way bigger than me.
Correct. Yeah. Well, thank you for your service, right?
Many lifetimes ago.
yeah. But still. But anyways, but yeah, that's a third world problem for you guys. I'm running out of socks.
I know.
Here's my
Yes.
sock again. Yeah, that's a third world problem.
Yes.
But anyways, it's still, you develop the same camaraderie as Freemasonry.
Right. And that's why I love masonry, because it's the same, the same bond. It's the same
it's
love.
same bond, yeah. And in military, if you don't have that kind of trust to each other, you're screwed.
Yeah, people could die.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So somebody really have to catch a bullet for you if
Yeah.
they have to, right?
Right.
That's how It's the same. It's supposed to be.
It's supposed
That's
to,
how to be. What masonry is all about.
And so let me and as we segue into the next one of the final questions for tonight, it's, do you think masonry is still relevant today?
Oh, for sure.
Nice.
If you're gonna ask me, I hope. We're not an organization that recruits. But I hope men who are free thinkers will be attracted on the principle of Freemasonry. In that way, I think. Can you imagine how peaceful the world would be if most of our leaders belong to the same organization?
Right.
Should I say? If majority of the free thinkers of the world are member of this organization, there's a lot of growth for the betterment of humanity. It's very vague, yes, but as a member of the fraternity, you probably know, right, how powerful the fraternity is when it comes to that.
It's bringing diverse of communities, culture, and I would say even beliefs. I think that's one of the sticky points that we were having issues with other faiths, right? Because if they accept our principles, that means they're not number one, right? Unfortunately, but that's what Worshipful Eric was alluding to, as far as if the world leaders somehow are observing that principle, we will be a lot better, I guess.
I mean those, because the basic tenets and the foundations of Freemasonry, like, debatably are so universal, right? It's not a left side, it's not a right side. It is a good human side.
It's for the betterment of the world. That's basically us.
That's it.
And hopefully, some of our viewers will, understand Freemasonry more nowadays, rather than what other people are saying about us. And hopefully we have imparted something great to them tonight.
For sure. So do you have any other questions, or?
I think you summed up that last question, right?
Yep.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Worshipful Eric.
Thank you guys. Oh my gosh.
sharing your thoughts and your
Two
experience.
beautiful brothers
Definitely. Thank you. Yeah.
next to me right
Yeah.
now, and man, I wish you good luck. Hopefully, this podcast will
Yes, yeah.
um,
We have a lot
have
of activities coming
more,
up.
yeah, in the
Definitely.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And worshipful Gabe, yeah, Sunday, huh?
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, so
He'll be
thank yeah.
installed as a senior steward. Oh my gosh!
I know, yeah. Super
Yeah.
excited for it. Super
So
excited
proud
to
of
serve.
you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. And
Yeah,
like I told the all the bros in the group chat,
Mm.
like my goal at every single hospitality event, because we do like they usually rent out like the suite for the Grand Master. and this
right,
and that.
right.
So my goal there is to always have at least a bowl of the Filipino peanuts, which are the adob. What is it called again?
The adobo?
Yeah, the adobang mani.
Adobong mani?
Yeah. So that's my goal, and always
Hold
just so
on.
I can always have a beautiful little.
Didn't we work on it already? Has
No.
somebody work on it already?
No, Worshie Elmer and I have been chatting about it, so I got to
Okay.
call him tomorrow. So
Oh, yeah.
he's gonna hook
Let
it
me
up
know if you know. If it's-
for sure. If not, I'll probably order some. But I always just as an homage to a little bit of Filipino culture with
Right.
inside the Grand Lodge. 'Cause-
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I wish
See?
I can join you there.
I know.
I believe I'm gonna be there Saturday. So.
Are you gonna be okay?
yeah.
Cool. Are you guys staying for the gala or anything?
No,
Okay.
just a one-day trip.
Okay, got you. Well, I look forward to
Right.
hanging out on
Yeah.
Saturday with you
Yeah.
guys. So,
I'm gonna do my best because my son's gonna be traveling from.
oh, for sure.
Come back, yeah.
Yeah.
I told you about that.
You did, yeah.
It's gonna be his birthday, so.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice,
so-
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, but if I could come out, yeah,
For sure,
definitely
yeah.
gonna be there
But,
to
but tell the
witness.
boys I say hello. Like you have some
Yeah,
great
hey,
young men.
You know what? Going out of the topic, yeah. I mean, this is
Yeah,
not part of
yeah.
it anymore.
All right.
Okay, right?
Thank you again for your time.
Later,
and
everyone.
your-
No,
yeah.
thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Yeah. But anyways, you know,